Stack high yields on stable coins, yeah, that's where my bag at. All I really need is Wi-Fi, get money on DeFi, mega cash on MetaMask. You better run when the runners run, show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum, markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton, crypto, yeah, I got some. You better run when the runners run, you better run when the runners run.
All right, welcome in everyone. You are running with the runners. It's Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. We are going to continue to preach and teach about the importance of everyone getting physical gold and silver. This is our backbone. This is what we believe in to the core. As always, the man who inspired me to keep buying more gold and silver every day, no matter what. Ricardo Hamilton, aka Mims. Make it make sense.
Yo, what's going on, brother? How you, man? We got a fire show for them tonight, man. Constantly, continuously, consistently building wealth in precious metal assets, cryptocurrency. Man, this the time, man. This the time, man. What a way this year's turned out so far for all those who've been saving in gold and silver.
You know, and it's finally coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I at times, I felt like we were Noah out here, telling people, build your ark.
Yeah.
Build your ark of gold and silver.
Right.
And everyone else is like, well, it's not raining. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The government's given us stimulus checks. Gold and silver really haven't risen that much. And now, even the other day, like I said on the last live stream of like, my mom was even like, well, I guess you were right. I was like, what do you mean? About the economy. Everything that you have been saying for 3 to 5 years is now coming to fruition.
Yep.
And again, guys, it's not too late. We're going to make the case tonight as to why everyone should be getting physical gold and silver on autopilot every single month. We're going to talk about the different kinds of silver. Why is some silver more than others? We're going to talk about how the price of silver is rigged. We're going to talk about how huge countries and BlackRock, the biggest financial institution in the world, is buying massive amounts of silver. Talking about the national debt. And, once Mims gets going on this, guys, if we can keep this under an hour, it's going to be amazing. Who knows how long we'll go. So, Ricardo, I'll let you take this. I'm going to throw you this softball about this is from Infinite Market Cap, and these are the top assets in the entire world. What should people take away from this?
Yeah, I mean, so this is where the wealthy, this is where people who have money. This is, where the money is. And the first thing that you should notice is that it's gold, right? And most people, they don't talk about gold and silver. They don't know about gold and silver. They don't know how to get gold and silver. But once you start talking to them about it, something inside of them says, maybe I should find out about this gold and silver. Maybe I should get some of this gold and silver. And as you can see, this is something that the wealthy have been getting and continuing to get to hedge against financial crisis and inflation. And so you can see gold is at number one, over $13 trillion, rising in value right now. And this is the time, this is the time, especially now what's going on in the global economy. And then, of course, now, as you scroll down, you see silver, as well at number 6. So we just like to kind of help people understand, like, this is how you diversify your portfolio. This is how you eliminate third-party counter risk. This is how you preserve the value of what you have, okay? So while the dollar is losing value, you still have money. You just converted it from debt money to real money, right? Because that's all the dollar is. The dollar is a unit of debt. It doesn't hold value. So when you want to preserve your wealth, when you want to have it grow for you, you want to have it in physical gold and silver. And one other thing about it is that the central banks, the Bank of International Settlements, label gold a tier 1 asset. So when you're trying to figure out, there's a lot of chaos in the markets, the dollar's going down, stock market's going down, where do I put my money to where has essentially zero risk, right? And is accepted for value. And that's dealing with physical gold, and especially silver being an industrial metal.
And so let's get right into this, guys. What is silver used for? And I'm gonna just be really honest here. I own some gold, and I'm not gonna try to stop you from buying gold or convince you not to. I'm just telling you, my heart, my soul, my belief, my study of history is with silver. Okay. So we're going to kind of be talking about that tonight. You can't really lose or go bad with both. They've both, held their value for thousands of years. But for me, if people ask me, I'm going to say go way more heavy into silver. So the silver uses, why is silver so valuable? I think it is the most valuable metal in the world. It's the most undervalued metal, the most undervalued asset. This is exactly what Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, says all the time, is everyone should be buying at least an ounce of physical silver every single month. And we show you guys how to do this inside of our app. We have multiple companies that we use. But again, the big difference here between gold and silver is 50% of the silver use is industrial, right? This could be electric cars, solar panels, computers, cell phones, televisions, high-end medical machines, colloidal silver, which is amazing. If you don't have colloidal silver in your, your drugstore, your bathroom or whatever, you need to get some. It is literally one of the best kept secrets in the health industry, but we're not going down that road right now. 2.8% of photography, 25% is physical investment, right? So when people like us buy physical silver, only 25% of that is going into that. Then you have silverware and of course jewelry. All right. So what about gold? Right? For the most part, I mean, gold's used a little bit in some space stuff and jewelry. But basically, people just pay a bunch of money to dig gold up out of the ground. And then all the banks and all the countries buy it up and store it in vaults, which is a good clue. If banks and countries around the world are buying up gold like never before, you might want to pay attention. But again, there's very little industrial or daily use for gold like there is silver. Mims, anything you want to add to just the use of silver?
Yeah, I mean, folks, this is huge. So because understand that this is an industrial metal, which means there's a greater use for it. But not only does that mean there's a greater use of it, there's less of it. Okay. And they don't really try to preserve, the little silver that they put in a solar panel that gets thrown in the trash or computers. So some people actually try to, salvage some gold and silver from old electronics or whatnot. But another thing to keep in mind is that there are no real silver mines. Okay. There are very few silver mines. So they get silver as kind of like a byproduct of a gold mine. So they go digging for gold and they'll find some silver, but it's not that much silver. And we're moving forward in a technological economy. So it's, AI, robotics, I mean, this is where it's going. Silver has a huge role in that, in addition to it being money. But look at all the use cases for silver. I mean, solar panels. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Medicine. And I mean, this is huge. And so many benefits to silver, so many use cases for silver. I mean, they're even using silver in clothing now because of its antimicrobial properties. So, antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. I mean, there's so many things here. So it's not just some rock. Okay. It's actually, pretty vital, right? And pretty relative to humanity. And the quality of living that we have today, wouldn't be the same without silver. So understand something. Not only is it real money, not only is it God's money, you know what I'm saying? Not only is it, money since the times of Egypt, money all around the world. Article 1, Section 10 of the US Constitution, right? Gold and silver legal tender. Okay. But it's money that everybody should have, because right now, if you don't have any silver, you don't have any gold, you don't have money.
No.
Okay. At this point, you don't have money. You're poor. Okay. You're broke. Right. I mean, the dollar is not money. The dollar is a unit of debt. It's going out of style. It's going away. The economy's changing. You have to diversify. You have to save in physical silver and gold, but especially physical silver.
So, we looked at the price of gold and silver, right? Gold right now is 1978. Silver is 2361. But this is the biggest thing. Let me pull this off right now. So we got to stress this.
Yeah. Big screen, Mike. Go ahead.
This is the biggest thing you have to understand, is that price in dollars literally means nothing. It is a fake. It's called paper silver. Okay. It's not real physical silver. It's traded in one market in the entire world. It's called the COMEX, or the CRIMEX as we refer it to. It's about 10 big banks who rig the market, and they just trade it back and forth to each other all day. Okay. And what they're doing is they short it meaning they bet on it going down and then they push it down. They make their money, then they get the physical silver and bring it into their vaults. Okay. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at the Department of Justice. Okay. So this is from the United States Department of Justice. Chase Bank specifically
Zoom in a little bit.
has been caught multiple times in the last few years rigging the markets. Okay. So again, this is from justice.gov. JP Morgan Chase and Company agrees to pay $920 million in connection with schemes to defraud precious metals and U.S. Treasury markets. So literally, guys, multiple times, JP Morgan found guilty. Here's another one. Okay, this is from August 22nd, 2022. Former JP Morgan traders convicted of fraud, attempted price manipulation, and spoofing in a multi-year market manipulation scheme. So when you see this price of silver at 23.61, I laugh at this. It's laughable.
Yeah.
All we can do, though, is say thank you, JP Morgan and the other banks rigging the market now, because we have a chance, a small window of opportunity to get as much physical silver as possible at these ridiculously rigged prices. Mims, make it make sense. Huge. What do people need to know?
Yeah, it's huge. So what Mike is saying is that there is no real price discovery for these assets. What you're looking at on the paper markets, what you see is $23 or whatever for silver. That's not the real price. Now you have to ask yourself, if that's not the real price for silver, then what is the real price? And if you understand that JP Morgan and big banks have been rigging and manipulating the price of silver down while they have been accumulating massive amounts of it, right? Then you should be saying, maybe this is probably something that I should be accumulating as well, because once the rigging or once what we're trying to find is the real market. What is the real value for silver? Well, right now, we won't know the real value of silver because they have been rigging and manipulating it down for decades, right? And so now when we're looking at, you see the price of silver, right, on the spot price, and then you go to any store or any online dealer or any place, and you see that the premiums for silver are $10, $20, right? The reason, and higher, and it'll probably get higher, they keep the rigging, the premiums will go higher. And the reason that is because we're trying to determine a fair market value, because the price for this asset that's an industrial metal, that's rare, that is real money, that that has a greater role right now than ever because of all the inflation and fears in the global economy, right, and the economic crisis we're dealing with. $23 is not a real price. So the premiums are trying to adjust for the rigging and manipulation of the market, but understand something, that cannot continue and exist forever. This is why, people say, well, when is, X asset going to reach this price? That's irrelevant when it's going to reach this price.
Ricardo, hold on one second. I can't hear Ricardo right now. Did anyone else hear that? Can you guys comment on the live? And you were like crackling a lot before that.
Okay. I'm not sure.
I can't hear you right now.
How's the audio coming in, guys? Everybody was able to hear me correctly? Somebody put something in the chat just so we can make sure.
Type in the chat, and anyone watching, let me know if you can hear me or Ricardo right now. Just working through some technical difficulties.
Yeah, somebody said I can hear him.
Oh, you can hear him?
I think it's the earbuds. Remember yesterday I told you about the earbuds. But yeah, so yeah, everybody says good. Yeah, so this is the whole thing. Is that the the price of silver is massively undervalued. Okay. And that's what we search for. We look for massively undervalued assets. We don't look for get rich quick. We look at to build wealth slow. All right. And so that way, when we look back, not only are we creating generational wealth, but especially the times that we're in right now, right, we know that we're holding on to real money. And so silver and gold are massively undervalued. They've been rigging the price of these assets down. You want to accumulate as much of it as you can. Okay. You don't want to just buy it one time. You want to constantly, continuously, and consistently do it. Okay. Because there will be an inflection point. You see, there will be a point where the veil will be lifted. We will start to see real price discovery for these assets. We're going to start to see silver and gold start to trend and continue to trade and be priced higher, closer to where they're supposed to be relative to all the money printing that's been taking place, relative to its use case, and relative to the industries that are benefiting from it, right, and where they're going, right. So I mean, obviously, if this solar industry is getting bigger, or even used in cars or electronics, if that industry is going, there's going to be even greater demand for silver. But now silver being money as well, and the shift in the economy, look, this is why Robert Kiyosaki says it's the biggest opportunity in the world for people to save in physical silver. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. You see, the wealthy preserve their wealth in 5 assets, right? You can go ahead and Google it. But the top assets most people can't get. We're talking about exclusive real estate, to $1 million properties and up. We're talking about fine artwork, the Mona Lisas. We're talking about, some people can't even get land. But the average person can get, some gold or some silver, a 10th ounce of a gold or an ounce of silver, $23 an ounce, with the premiums, $20, depending on what type of bullion you want to get. So start to slowly build wealth, consistently getting these assets, knowing that in your lifetime, because at this point, I feel super confident about this shift that's happening, this global reset happening in our lifetime. And we will see the rise of these assets. We will see the shift in this economy. And either you're going to be holding on to paper and your wealth is going to be denominated in dollars, and you're going to see something way worse than 2008 financial crisis. Okay. Or you're going to be one of those people who had their dollars converted into the assets that are going to rise in value and appreciate, that have less risk and more value. And that's silver and gold, especially physical silver. So this is this is the time to save in silver, folks. It's the time, Mike always says, you think you're saving silver, right? But silver is saving you. And like I said earlier, if you don't have silver and gold, you ain't got money. You're just holding on to debt and fiat.
All right.
How am I sounding, brother?
I can hear you. I don't know what happened. You can hear me okay?
Yeah. You're good. You're coming in good.
All right. All right. I don't know what you said, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little.
Don DeMarco.
Now I don't know. Did you hear
good.
that, Don DeMarco?
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear it, but it's okay. We can hear you. We're gonna get the most important part out there.
All right. So, okay, what I was getting ready to say is, when you were talking about the difference between the spot price and what you pay for an ounce of silver. Okay. Again, don't go to JM Bullion to buy your silver. Somebody asked a question. Oh yeah. This Facebook user said, how does one go about setting up a monthly amount to purchase, and where do y'all get it? All right. You're going to want to look down below in the description on Facebook or YouTube and get into the Runners app. And we have multiple ways you guys can get stacking right now. But I wouldn't wait to do it. So we see here, okay, if you're going to pay with your credit card, which most people are going to do, you're going to pay $45 for 1 ounce Silver Eagle. Now, Silver Eagles are typically the most expensive type of Silver Eagle because they have what's called a higher premium, because they're the most sought after and well-respected silver, coin in the world.
Because dealing with the United States, baby.
Right.
That's why.
So, you can come here and see, you can say, oh, and this is where a lot of new people get tripped up, right?
Yeah, they do.
Is they say, oh, well, I looked on this website and it said silver's only $23. Why am I going to pay
45?
Guys, that's a premium.
Yeah.
That is huge.
That's crazy
premium.
too. That's when you know it's a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when you know the price is rigged, because it's, again, fake paper silver, not real physical silver. Now, again, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no, I don't want to cut your wisdom, but generally the premiums are like $2, $3. Right. So if you see silver at $23, it should be maybe $25 you'll spend on an ounce, maybe somewhere around there. But when you're starting to see this type of divergence and rising premiums, there's something wrong in the market.
And again, even if you go to like just a kind of a random 1 ounce silver round, you're looking at over $30. So that's still a $7 premium.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yep.
So we're not going to get into like any like strategies today in buying silver. We talk about that.
Yeah, we got it all in the app.
Yeah, It's all in the app. And again, don't go to JM Bullion. They're just kind of one of the biggest dealers. So I just use them as a reference. But I've bought like 1 or 2 things from them, but I wouldn't use them consistently at all.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that we don't recommend, the bullion dealer down the street or the online dealers like JM Bullion, we recommend the companies that we have found here in the United States because for one, they have the same product, which is pure gold and silver straight from the government mints. All right, but they have them at sometimes even better prices than the online dealers, so it's very comparable. But also, none of those online dealers or even your dealer down the street, they don't allow you to set it and forget it. They don't allow you to build wealth on autopilot. They don't allow you to just, have it constantly, continuously, consistently come in your house without you having to think about it. Once you decided that you've made the right decision, you need to put that right decision on automatic to account
Hmm.
for your human, inability to be disciplined, right? But you know the right thing to do. So that's one of the major reasons why we like a lot of companies that we use because it allows you to not only get the same product, pure gold and silver from the government mints, but get it on automatic, constantly, continuously, consistently delivered to your home on a continuous basis. And the other thing about it, which I'll share shortly, is just that look, this is a whole new economy. If you're relying on one stream of income, you're a disaster waiting to happen. Okay. Everybody needs multiple streams of income right now. And so we can tell you to go to JM Bullion or SD Bullion or goldsilver.com, but they're not going to give you or me anything for helping people get gold and silver from their company. But if I can have a company that's going to give me a little something for sending some people there and they got the same product and they allow them to set up on automatic, oh, that's a no-brainer to me, right? And so that's why we get excited that not only can we educate people and help people get the value of gold and silver, but we can help them and help ourselves at the same time. And that's a beautiful thing.
So here's kind of the thing that inspired this, live stream tonight, Ricardo, is BlackRock, which if you don't know, is literally the biggest financial institution in the entire world. They
Mhm.
own almost everything,
Yeah.
especially single family homes.
Mm.
So they took a big stake in the Sprott Silver ETF, which is PSLV. Now, if you are going to buy paper silver, which I wouldn't, but you definitely want to buy PSLV versus SLV. SLV is a complete scam. They have almost no silver. Sprott is supposedly at least does actually back their silver 1-to-1. I still wouldn't trust it, but it's way better than regular SLV. So they bought 20.6 million shares. BlackRock takes biggest stake in Sprott Silver PSLV ETF. Well, BlackRock has held its own iShares SLV. That's when I was talking about ETF in the past. The most were 5.4 million shares during the pandemic shutdown. Doesn't matter if BlackRock holds onto the PSLV, the institutional waterfall buying is coming, meaning major institutions are going to be buying more silver. Think about how much silver
Mhm.
Tesla is
Yeah.
going to want to buy,
Yep.
or anyone who makes solar panels.
Yeah.
So this is literally the PSLV. You can see here reported date 3/31. BlackRock total holdings 20.6 million, position value 170 million. They literally own almost 5% of this entire ETF of silver. So MIMS,
Yeah.
if BlackRock, the most successful and richest company in the entire world,
Mhm.
is buying 170 million ounces of silver last week, what should the people out there think about doing?
Well, that's a clue. There's a clue right there. Okay, this is a strategic metal, folks. This is a strategic metal. And in times of financial crisis, times of global uncertainty, it's always been gold and silver. Understand that gold and silver has seen there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to gold and silver. It has seen, pandemics, it has seen wars, it has seen, global shifts in
When
the
I tell you,
economy. Okay, understand something that gold and silver has held value throughout it all. It doesn't matter. And understand that the only reason that the dollar got the world reserve currency status was because it was backed by gold. Okay. If the dollar was not backed by gold, the international community would have never accepted the gold as a world reserve currency stat, and you would not be living the lifestyle that you're living today. Okay. But it was because it was backed by gold. And before the dollar had the world reserve currency status, it was the British pound sterling, which was backed by silver. See, I'm trying to give you a clue of what is the real value. Is it the paper? Or is it the asset? Is it the physical metal? Is it the gold and silver? That's what you want. You don't want the paper. You want the real money. Before the British pound sterling had the world reserve currency status, it was the Dutch. And before the Dutch, it was the Romans. Before the Romans, it was the Greeks. Before the Greeks, it was Africa, right? Egypt. Look, gold and silver have always been the monetary standard internationally. It's only been, 100 years or so, or maybe since, if you want to say since 1971, since Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, that we've been operating in this twilight zone. You have been lied to. You don't know how the world actually works and functions because they made sure they didn't teach you about money in school. They made sure that you only learn how to work a job. That's why Henry Ford said if the American people ever understood the present banking and monetary system, there will be a revolution by tomorrow morning. The reason that most people are struggling to get ahead right now financially and the quality of their lives are continuing to decline because they have you distracted about everything else, entertainment and division about, color and all this other stuff, and not really attacking the real problem, why your life and why your quality of living is the way it is. It's because you don't understand how they are fleecing everybody, regardless of your color, through the financial system. But it's so important that you understand the time now and what must be done because we're going through a shift back to reality. Okay. So this is why they say we woke and all this stuff. No, because people it's time for you to wake up from this dream, this nightmare of the dollar being money, when really now it's debt, it's fiat, it's no good, it's paper, it's worthless. Okay, you're gonna start to see houses with dollars as wallpaper, like they did in Germany when the Weimar collapsed. Right, you have to save in physical silver and gold, and that's why the banks are buying it. That's why BlackRock's getting into it, and this is why we're telling you need to do the same thing.
And I want to show you guys here the price chart of silver. Okay. And then we're going to watch a short video from Andy Scheckman. So you can see here, guys, the silver hit basically almost an all-time high in 1980. All right. I believe the left must be, I don't know what that is. USD. Oh, a kilogram. Okay. On the right here is the price. So you can see silver got to about $40. Okay. This was during what's called the Hunt Brothers, where they tried to corner the silver market and then the government took them out. That's a whole other story for another day. This is what happened kind of after the 2008 financial crisis. Silver went up to just over $40 really quick. This is when JP Morgan stepped in and started rigging the market to cause this bear market. So here we are at spot silver, supposedly like $23. Okay. So silver is like half of its all-time high.
Right.
Gold's at its all-time high almost. Yeah. And the dollar continues to just go down.
Yeah.
So we showed you the difference between the spot price and what you can actually get physical silver for. So now I want to hear just a quick short video from Andy Scheckman. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the most well-respected investors, buyers, and sellers of physical gold and silver for the last 20 to 30 years. If you go onto YouTube and put in Andy Scheckman, you're going to see him talking to all sorts of people. He literally sells his own silver, had his own, store forever. So I wanted you guys to hear this. It's something I heard today, just so you understand, is silver will eventually be unobtainium, meaning you will not be able to get it. The price of it is relative. The question is, do you have it? All right, so let me cue this video. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm going to start it at 3:30.
It's creating visibly last. Here's some dead. When I look, it's even worse now. One of the largest wholesalers in the world, every 1,000 gold. When I look at some years I've done this with the exception of 08, that I haven't seen supply issues like this. I'm dead serious. This is exactly a bit of a delay in how fast things are getting out. We'd like to normally say 1 to 3 days after receipt of a wire, but precedent, the human touch involved in all of this unprecedented demand and fear, where people want to talk to someone, because this is not just, this is what I want for people who are new to this market. It's creating a little bit of a delay in how fast things are getting out. We'd like to normally say 1 to 3 days after receipt of a wire. Could be 5 to 7 days now, hopefully not, but I just want to manage expectations as you.
So he's basically saying, you can order silver from me. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it to you because there's delays. He literally can't even get it.
I were talking about. It is the proper thing to do. It is a blessing, but it's also something that is challenging my operations staff down to every last person. We are doing the very best we can, and you put into the mix, tenuous supply. When I tell you that in all the years I've done this, with the exception of 08, that I haven't seen supply issues like this, I'm dead serious. This is exactly what I was talking about, only it's earlier than I thought it would happen. When I look at the inventory sheet, and I've shared this one with you a week or so ago, it's even worse now. One of the largest wholesalers in the world, every single product.
Just so you guys understand what he's saying, because he deals with like the largest wholesalers of silver in the world. Every single product of silver is sold out. This is one of the leaders in the industry of silver is telling us this.
Is sold out in silver, with the exception of silver shot, silver 1,000-ounce bars, and pre-order of 2023 UK Britannias. Everything else is gone. When I look at gold, it's almost the exact same thing. There's some kilo bars, and that's about it. Everything else is gone. Now, this is what I mean by unprecedented demand. And if you take a look from the top of the supply chain on down, look, I mean, since the end of April, we've seen almost 530 tons of gold leave the New York and the London vaults, and the COMEX and the LME.
So, guys, what he's saying there is essentially the rich, wealthy, and elite, the banks, the banksters, the governments are pulling physical gold and silver off. They know the game, and they played the game for as long as they could. They rigged the market, shorted it, made money, took physical possession. Now the vaults on the COMEX and the London Bullion Exchange are being pulled out, right? So that's why like the price of what you see, gold and silver, is a joke. Like, it's not real. It's a fugazi.
And at the same time, you're seeing massive, according to PAMP Swiss, they're saying all of the Asian imports are off the charts, hit a 4-year high in August. So it's being bled off the exchanges here. It's being sent across the globe to Asia and the rest of the Eurasian continent. And at the same time, you have people waking up here, and it's just creating an environment where I don't think you've seen anything yet. When there's that moment and people start to panic, then it'll really be crazy. This is just a microcosm of it, but it is 100% for real, and as real as anything I have seen in 33 years, and unparalleled anything I've seen in 33 years, with the exception of 2008, where everything was gone for about 3 months. A massive reorientation, I guess you'd call it, of trade flows and of foreign economic contracts towards other partners, away from the U.S., primarily the BRICS countries. And, we've talked about how all of these countries are coalescing together. They are joining together, the ones with all of the commodities, and we can see that happening in real time, no question about it. And I think that's the ultimate challenge here for this country and for the fate of the markets. It's not what Jerome Powell will do. It's when do the BRICS, who've already said they're going to issue a new global reserve currency, and it's already been promised to be pegged to commodities. There's only 40 million ounces left for delivery on COMEX and the registered cap.
Do you keep hearing that word, Ricardo? Commodities?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we talk about those sometimes, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. All the time.
So, and listen, guys, look at that last part about how much is left on these exchanges. We got about 30 more seconds and we're done.
Category. The LBMA has lost more silver in the last few months than the COMEX has for delivery. And, the high premiums, then again, are not just here in North America. You're seeing, according to PAMP again, PAMP Swiss, they're one of the largest refiners in the world. And they published some stuff that I saw on Reuters, and it said that gold in Dubai and Istanbul and on the Shanghai Gold Exchange has traded at multi-year premiums. And I mean, that's a sign that buying is outstripping imports. And they went on to also say that silver in India is trading at more than 3 times its usual premium level.
Wow.
So this is something new where you're seeing countries start to really accumulate silver at the same time. And so when you talk about this, the ability to successfully manipulate a market, at least here in the West, you can only do it over an extended period of time by pushing it in the direction that it is going. And when you see the massive demand in Asia and India and the rest of the BRICS nations, look at Turkey as an example, who has applied for BRICS, membership in BRICS. They've bought more gold in the first 7 months of the year than any of the central banks of the world. Wow. So you're seeing this drive by these countries to accumulate hard assets, commodities, the real thing, and they're using the suppressed price to do so.
All right, Mems. I think that's enough there. Make that make sense, and what people need to take away from that.
Yeah. I mean, the world's going back to a sound money standard, folks. That's what it is. The flight from fiat has begun. It has been going on for some time, but the masses of people weren't aware of it. But now it is time for the masses of people to wake up and start doing what they're doing and start getting physical silver and gold. And understand something, a lot of what they were talking about in that video comes down to supply and demand, folks. We talk about supply and demand when it comes to, rare collectible gold and silver coins, or whether we're talking about nodes, whether we're talking about, fixed amount of cryptocurrencies, and then, that supply reducing over time. We understand the law of supply and demand. When demand is rising, okay, there's more money, there's more demand for something, while the supply of it is reducing, there's less of it, right? What happens to the price? The price has to accommodate. The price has to capitulate. The price has to adjust for the supply and demand factors. And so when you're seeing what we're seeing globally, when you're seeing the financial crisis, and when you're seeing the use case industrial wise for silver and everything that's going on, folks, this is probably one of the biggest plays financially that you can make to preserve your wealth and grow your wealth and create generational wealth. And with them rigging and manipulating the price down, it's good for you right now, because you can still buy it up. Even though the premiums are high, trust me, like he talked about, when we start to see fair market value for these assets, you're going to see them skyrocket, okay? And I say this all the time. I'd rather be 1 year or even 2 years too early to the greatest wealth transfer in history than 1 day too late, okay? This is not something you want to wait to the last minute to try to start accumulating, because as you heard him say, look, it's not that much. The dealers that have it today, you will log in tomorrow and it won't be there, okay? That's what's going on right now. There's so much demand for physical silver. You're taking it as a luxury that you're going to be able to just buy as much as you want whenever you want. And I'm telling you, that's not the case, okay?
Nope.
That's not the case. But what I do get excited about is why we tell you guys to go inside the Runners app and utilize the companies that we're getting physical silver and gold from, that's delivering it to our home on a consistent basis, is because during the pandemic, during the silver squeeze, they had bullion.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
When the online dealers and people that local dealers, they had no silver or they weren't selling silver, the companies that we are affiliated with, they had bullion. They had ways for you to still get physical silver and gold. Okay. So that is critical, because a lot of people, by the time they realize they want physical silver and gold, you won't be able to get it, or they'll be priced out. While the companies that we're dealing with, they have it and they still have them at comparable prices. This is the time. This is the time to save in physical silver and gold right now. Things are moving very fast on the international stage. Even here in the United States, I think Texas is looking to create a gold-backed digital currency. Zimbabwe created a gold-backed digital currency. I mean, look, all these countries that are joining BRICS, whatever digital currency they use and whatever rail they use, whether it's XRP is the liquidity standard for that, whatever it is, whatever it looks like, just understand that gold and silver has a role in it. Okay. You want to hold that. You don't want to hold just paper. You don't want to just hold dollars. It's a liability to you.
And for the new people coming on, BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other developing countries want to join it. Like we saw Turkey.
Yeah.
And a couple of
that was huge about Turkey. I mean, the last 7 months, they bought more gold and silver than the central banks.
That's
Turkey's
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. And then now understand something, that there's about 186 countries that have applied to join BRICS. So
Mm.
BRICS is not just Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Brazil is Brazil. I mean, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and 186 plus and growing countries. So a new
Yep.
hegemony is being set up. A new global monetary standard is being set up right before your eyes while you're living in one of the most significant time periods in history. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? You're going to look back
Mm.
at these times and you're going to wish that you had got silver because, like Mike say, you think you saving silver, but silver's saving you.
Facts.
So this is the time. This is we ringing the alarm. This is the wake up call before it really hits, in the media and people starting to figure out, oh, how do I get that silver? How do I get silver? Like Mike said, we've been saying this for years. Even his parents are waking up like everything you're saying is right. We thought you was crazy. Okay. We thought you
Yep,
was
yep.
selling soap. But it's real, folks. It's real.
And if you guys are watching right now, again, we got to go old school here, Ricardo. Give me the hashtag silver for freedom. All right, silver for freedom, guys. It's so huge and big. This is their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
They cannot allow silver to rise because it will expose them for the frauds that they are.
Yeah.
One little tidbit here, because this just shows you guys where we are at in this space right now. This is called the gold to silver ratio. So it's how many ounces of silver do you need to get 1 ounce of gold. Now, historically, this was 20-1 before World War I. Okay. Gold and silver traded 20-1. So 20 ounces of silver equaled 1 ounce of gold. And then as the government got more involved and, the Fed's created and whatever, it gets distorted. So we can see here, it goes below 20 during World War I. During the 20s, it's going up, gold's going up. And then we kind of get to the worst part of the Great Depression or the beginning of World War II, and it goes way down. So again, it goes back to where it was historically, to 20-1, meaning silver was much more valuable there in like the 60s. Okay. Gold starts to go up, and then we can see here, when we saw the gold spikes in 81, the ratio goes way down to 15 really quick. Well, fast forward to today, guys, and this is when Ricardo and I really started preaching this. Silver hit 113. So 113 ounces of silver for one gold coin. 1 ounce of gold versus 113 silver. And even today, we're still at in the 80s, the 70s.
Yeah. And so that's an indication that silver is the bigger buy because the ratios will correct themselves, right? So when you see these ratios get out of whack like this, that lets you know, like, oh, that gold is either, it's just outpacing, but the bigger play, and we tell people all the time, one of the major reasons we say get silver is because the percentage gains for silver are going to be much greater. Anytime when I watch the market, I see gold goes up 1%, silver went up 5%.
Right.
Okay. So in regards to gains, it's definitely going to be much better for you guys to hold silver. But silver will rise in value because, like we talked about, the fair market value will be discovered. These ratios will collapse to their historical norm. So when you have it at these highs, 80 and above, oh yeah. Yeah, that's it. And also, Mike, those lines, those gray lines that you see on the chart are indications of recessions.
Yep.
Right. And so you can see that, that was the pandemic in 2020. Okay. But you don't see any line for recession since then. Like we're in the longest expansion period, the longest period of rigging and manipulation. And think about this too, folks, really quickly. Do you understand that how much money have they printed in, let's say, since the pandemic in the last, 3 years? About 80, what is it?
All I know is it's about 30 to 40% of everything they've created ever.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about trillions of dollars. I mean, I remember it was $8 trillion here, it was 2 trillion here, still sending billions to Ukraine. So you got trillions of dollars that they have printed. And you're telling me the price of gold and silver are still sitting below their all-time highs? Yeah, right. Right. But yet you have eggs rising in value. So you have commodities. This is the thing. You have commodities. We had gas prices going up. You got cost of food, cost of living going up. You got the prices of everything rising in value. You got the dollar losing value. but silver and gold are just not doing anything, barely near their all-time highs.
Yeah,
Silver sitting at $23 an
nothing.
ounce. Folks, this is oh my goodness. We're gonna look like
But
geniuses, you know what I'm saying, at the end of this. I'm just telling you, you gotta
crazy.
see it's the writing on the wall is so clear. There's so much data, there's so much information, there's so much evidence, there's so much documentation to support why you should have and hold and diversify in physical silver.
Um, here's the other thing. There's so much more we could get into, guys. We got to kind of wrap this up, though. Number one, Ricardo, can you maybe talk about zero party risk, zero counterparty risk?
Yeah, I said it earlier. That's one thing about gold and silver. There is no third party kind of risk, right? I talked about the Bank of International Settlements, okay? The BIS, right? Labeling gold and silver a tier 1 asset. Understand something. When you want to preserve your wealth, when you want to put your money into something, there's generally risk associated to it. You can lose your money. But understand something, the banks have labeled gold a tier 1 asset. Why do you think that banks and states and governments around the world are backing their currency, or backing their digital currency, backing it by gold? It's accepted 100% for value. It's money all around the world. Zero risk associated because it's a tier 1 asset, okay? That's what you want to hold on to. So ain't no third party counter risk with gold and silver, because gold and silver is God's money, okay? That's the counterparty, okay? So where your faith at? That's real money. That's God's money right there, okay? So hold on to gold and silver, especially physical silver.
And let me say this. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were trying to wrap their head around like why I get gold and silver. And I said, it's not an investment. It's insurance. It's peace of mind. It's how I sleep at night. When I was able to retire from teaching and not have to have a job or work for anyone ever again, the peace of mind I had is I had accumulated so much gold and silver that I knew no matter what happened, I would be safe. I could have $100,000 in the bank, 500,000, $1 million even. That doesn't make me feel good. Like this is, we talked about this the other night. It's like, who wants to be a millionaire anymore? That's silly. Give me a Bitcoin over being a millionaire. Give me 1,000 ounces of silver over being a millionaire. A millionaire literally means nothing. It's just paper. It's fake. There's no value. We know the value of the dollar will continue to go down.
Yeah.
I went to McDonald's the other day. I never go to McDonald's. We didn't even get anything. It was like $20. I was like telling my boys stories about the dollar menu.
Right. Yeah.
Like a two cheeseburger meal was like $10. I'm like, what is going on in the world? I used to get a steak for $10. And it's just the frog in boiling water, slowly and surely. You'll go to the gas station, you'll pay $5 for a Coke.
Yeah.
You'll pay $20 for a McDonald's meal in 5 years, probably.
Yeah.
And they're just slowly squeezing you and destroying you. The only way we take back our power is real physical gold and silver and utilizing the blockchain.
And see what we're doing, folks, is we're trying to put that salve on your eyes so you can see. We're lifting the veil here. We want to get rid of the smoke and mirrors for you, okay? And so we're trying to help you understand that when Mike says $1 million, now of course everybody would love to be a millionaire right now, but understand what he's saying. He's saying that you have 1 million pieces of paper that is an IOU for something that you cannot redeem. I can't redeem it for nothing. Now they made it to where you can purchase goods and services and pay debt with it, right? But it's not money. I can't exchange that and redeem that for something. But understand, it's 1 million pieces of paper. And if you look throughout history, if you go ahead and Google fiat currencies that have collapsed throughout history, the United States dollar is a fiat currency. There is nothing backing it. There is no value to it. It's just a piece of paper that they have continued to print out of to oblivion, and it's losing value, and it's going out of style. Okay, and it's a relic. It's something that's going to be in museums. It's going to be like the world. Your great grandchildren or your children now, they're going to be wondering like, people used to believe that paper had value. Why would they think that? There's so many trees out here. Why didn't they just go cut down their own tree and make some paper or something? No, but when they understand that, listen, one of the major reasons that gold and silver have value, because do you understand the man hours, the labor, the sweat, the equity that goes into just extracting that labor? You see, we are the money. We are the frequency. We are the energy. We are the value. So we go down and extract. That takes man hours. That takes energy. That takes resources. So we go underground. Okay. Is it
Here we
what that
go,
say?
Ricardo.
I mean,
You're gonna want to keep a hold of this one, guys.
yeah, hold that right there. That's that
a
$1 million
$1
note.
million. Hold on. I gotta put $1 on it. Hold on.
Yeah, put a dollar on there. $1 million piece of paper right there.
There you go.
Now
Guys,
Mike's a millionaire.
Yeah. If you guys just send me some crypto and silver and gold, I'm gonna give you this pink paper.
Yeah.
It's worth $1 million IOU.
Yeah.
Boom. Done. That's what the government does every day.
Look, folks, it takes energy to get that gold and silver out the ground and bring it to market. That's why it has value amongst its industrial use and everything else that we talked about. So, I think we really did make a great case for gold. Do you have any other slides, Mike, that you want to pull up?
Oh, we got one more. We're gonna end it with this, Ricardo.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're gonna do.
Yeah. So, the last thing I'll say, guys, is I want to go back to what Travis said. First of all, thank you, Travis, for doing everything that you do. If I have a day that I don't get gold and silver in the mail, I feel sad, right? Like Travis says, and Travis says he's pretty good. I would say he's a successful entrepreneur, but even he looks forward to getting that real money, right? Every single month. So, and again, guys, this is fun, So just to show you some examples, right? You have your 100-ounce silver bar. Okay. Again, the only way I will ever sell this is if I'm buying land. That's it. Otherwise, there's no way I'm ever selling.
You got to get a few acres with that.
Yeah. In a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah. Real time.
You guys saw this is a 10-ounce beautiful coin. All right. This is one of my favorite coins. It has sentimental value. I love this. 10-ounce. This is a 10-ounce silver bar with the Statue of Liberty on it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love like collectible coins, right? So this is a George Washington coin. That's a 5-ounce numismatic coin. And these have super high value. And then I always like to get these for my boys. I get stuff. This is a Star Wars coin, right? And I get, Marvel, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Superman, and that gets them into collecting real money. So, there's lots of different ways to do it, but number one, it's fun and we're getting real assets. And again, you guys have to understand how small this market is, how much it's rigged, how much it has for growth. So, Ricardo, I'm going to let you knock this out of the park because I know this is one of your expertise.
Maybe zoom in a little bit for him.
I will. It makes it a little harder to see, but
yeah, no, that's good right there.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it away, bro, man. Here's your softball.
Yeah. So I love this this image here because it really just explains now how much money they've printed, how much money is in these sectors, and then what it's showing you see it's the upside down pyramid, and what it's showing you is what's going to happen as a collapse of this debt-based fiat monetary system take place. And it starts with the biggest market of them all, which is the derivatives market, which is $1 quadrillion. So that they always tell you the United States is $31 trillion in debt, and they make it seem like that's the biggest number, that's the biggest thing to worry about, and it's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's really, when you look at the derivatives market, it's $1 quadrillion at the base and with the inverted pyramid at the top, right? And then you see, right, so 1 quadrillion, then below that, as that collapses down, it goes into the private business and real estate, which is $300 trillion, okay? And then it goes into securities and debt and listing of stocks, which is $116 trillion. And these numbers might be a little off, given the present moment. They're greater.
Oh, I'm sure they're way higher at this point.
Yeah. This was like, Yeah, this is
If
way
you think this
higher.
is bad, you have
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah, you have no idea. The current numbers on these is freaking ridiculous. But government bonds, all right, 56 trillion, bank money, 50 trillion, base money, 29 billion. And at the base, you see at the tippity top of the pyramid, the base, and because what happens is everything, the derivatives market is risk on, very risky. The real estate market, is risky, and as it goes down, as the system collapses, money is going to chase safety. Money wants to get in something solid, something that is going to preserve value. All right. And so gold is at the tip of the pyramid, right, which is at the base of this inverted pyramid at $6.4 trillion. All right. And then you have silver at the very tippity tip top. They can't even show it because that's how small the silver market is. You have no idea. It just, it's so small. And what's going to happen is you're going to see these trillions upon hundreds of trillions of dollars, all this money. I mean, the derivatives market, everything. You're going to see all of that fiat as this collapses because the dollar's no good anymore. Nobody wants to hold dollars. Why would you hold dollars? The
Nope.
dollar doesn't hold value. The world doesn't want it. So they're going to take their dollars and they're going to do what with it? They're going to turn it into money. They're going to turn it into something of value. They're going to put it in something that's going to transcend in the new financial system to preserve and grow and build wealth and create generational wealth. So it's gold at the very bottom or the tip of the pyramid. And then it's silver. So you can see it's only a $6.4 trillion market, which that was obviously that's actually, so Mike, we might as well say these numbers have doubled because when we go to infinite market cap, gold was a $13 trillion market.
Yeah.
So these numbers, so the derivatives market is probably closer to $2-3 quadrillion. The real estate market, private real estate and business, probably 600 trillion. I mean, you might as well have doubled these numbers. But the whole point of this image is to help you understand that everything else is risk on, and during a collapse, when money starts to move, because when you see the market crashing, understand something: money doesn't disappear. 2008 market crashed. The money didn't disappear.
Nope.
It went to somebody else. It shifted hands, right? So you want to be that person for when the market does crash, when you see this stuff does happening, you have the right asset, right? So you might not be able to time the market, but if you know that eventually, because we do have market crashes in cycles every 10 years or so, we do see that major banks are collapsing right now. We're on the precipice of something that the world has never seen before, the most significant time period in history. This is the time to be at the base or the tippity top of this inverted pyramid, which is physical silver.
And guys, the point here is Mims laid it out. If I had a Don DeMarco and my soundboard was working, I'd throw it out there. It's so like the silver market is so small and it's so important. So I hope we shared that with you tonight. We showed you. And again, get inside the Runners app, get as much physical gold and silver, especially silver, as possible. Again, it's not throw $10,000 at something. It's set it up on autopilot. At least do that. I just looked at one of our companies, Ricardo, and this is still available for under $31 an ounce.
Yeah, so it's 10 ounces, so about
$309. You get a 10-ounce Miss Liberty. Yeah. That's so affordable. Like we were looking at like junk silver from JM Bullion, and they wanted over 30.
Yeah, so folks, I mean, we showed you all that to say not only are we going to, let you know, where you should be saving your money, but we have found the best companies in the United States that deal with physical gold and silver directly from the government mints. And they allow you to set up on automatic. Like Travis said, I love getting my monthly shipment. Okay. If you're going to get monthly shipment of anything, it should be an asset. Okay.
Facts.
And I talk about the lotion, potion, products, pills, and things of that nature. But you definitely, in addition to that, while you're doing that, you should have some physical silver, some physical gold coming in on an automatic basis. And especially if that's a company that not only ships internationally, right, but will pay you for sharing. Right. So we get excited about that. Whether you decide to use the Runners app or not, you can go to JM Bullion, you can go to SD Bullion. We showed you that. You can go to your gold and silver dealer down the street. It's just that based on our research and based on what we understand, we found more value for ourselves and for the community to be able to leverage companies that have more value for us as the consumer and as the person who will be letting people know where they can get gold and silver as opposed to a company that's not going to give you any of those type of benefits.
Yeah. And I think let's close it out with this. Kyle asked a great question. What's up, Kyle? Good to see you, brother. What's better, guys? A collectible or a spendable silver? I think what you mean by spendable is called bullion. So just as an example, okay, this is bullion, which I think you mean as spendable. This is much more affordable or cheaper. This is a collectible. Now, this is 10 ounces. This is 5. I could sell this for, this would sell for about 300. This sells for about 800. Even though it's less silver, it's graded, it's a collectible, and it's very rare. So you got to do both. This is your defense. Okay. I would start with bullion, first of all, if that's the question. Start with bullion, get your bullion. That's your defense. Okay. This will hedge against the dollar. It will preserve your purchasing power. And it's a lot simpler to get into, much more affordable. This is the minor leagues. Once you're ready for the major leagues, then you start getting the collectibles. Then you start getting the super rare coins that can go up in value, couple 100, 200% in a year, because they're so rare. It's like combining Pokemon cards and comic books with gold and silver, but instead of made out of paper, they're made out of actual real metals that people want and desire. So you want to do both, but I would start with bullion. And as you get more bullion, it's like, all right, I got 2,000 1-ounce silver rounds. How many more can I get? Right? I want to have some fun. I want to get a Donald Trump coin. I want to get a specialty, Spider-Man or Superman or what, or a history, something preserving the history of our government. So it's totally up to you guys. You can't go wrong doing either one. But again, start with bullion, work your way up to getting what's called numismatic or collectible coins. Have fun, get your family involved. It's about, teaching the next generation about what is real money and what is real wealth.
Yeah, and yeah, I would second that, and I would just say, yeah, this comes down to diversifying. I would agree with Mike that you definitely want to have a bullion, built up of government coins, eagles, or even bullion like Mike showed. And as you start to accumulate a significant holdings in bullion, because it's easier to be liquidated. Just like anything with collectibles, you got to sell it to somebody who values that as a collectible. Right? But the collectible is a way for you to diversify your portfolio and have a higher asset class of something. So it's a little more specialty, a little more specialized. There are some variables in there that make it more exciting and attractive. And like Mike said, it's more of like an offensive strategy where you have the ability to have an asset that is not just valued on its weight, but it has other variables, characteristics, things that make it very unique that can give it a greater premium than in value than just its weight and purity, right? So this is what we do. We help people not only understand the value of gold and silver, but we help people diversify into say the lower classes of gold and silver, and also position themselves in the higher classes, the highest class of gold and silver when you start talking about collectibles. And once again, we found the best companies in the world, in the United States, to be able to do that with inside the Runners app. So, folks, we winning. There isn't any more to give. There isn't, once you've watched this live stream, I mean, you might get some other little information, but I mean, we just broke it down for you. I mean, we just gave you everything that you would need to know. You might have some little tidbit questions there, but at this point, it's like, how do I get into the app and what I mean, start getting some silver, you know what I'm saying? Start getting some gold. Yeah.
And Ricardo, literally the other day, I was like, I don't have enough silver. Like, as I'm like, because I, watch stuff and learn stuff every day. So I went to one of the companies and bought some more. I'm like, I think I know what I'm doing, but I still don't have enough. I'm like, it will literally be the lifeblood of humanity. Silver will be. It is. And guys, don't even get me started about the history. This goes back to the Opium Wars in China, where the British came in, used opium to hook the Chinese on getting high, and they extracted their silver.
Mm.
That is how long silver has been suppressed and wanted. Don't even get me started about the crime of 1871, okay, or 1873. That's when they took us off bimetallism. And then we got to talk about the Wizard of Oz. And then we got to talk about the election of 1896, where we have William Jennings Bryan talking about the cross of gold. And literally, look at what we talk about today in politics. What did they talk about in 1896? It was, hey, we want silver as money in the government. And the rich, wealthy, and elite said, no, we don't want common people having it. We want you to be slaves and start using these fiat paper dollars. So, guys, this has been a 170-year battle of the wealthy and the elites trying to get silver out of the hands of the common, ordinary people.
Yeah.
It's time to take back our power.
Yep.
And the only way we do that is through physical silver, period. I'm out.
Lace up. Let's get wealthy.
Peace.